What's going on, everybody? Good evening. We're a little bit late with this video, but we are going to go ahead and get it up. The final safety video of the day and the final safety video of this draft cycle. Last four safeties I want to take a look at here. We are very much down near the bottom of the draftable prospects. Everybody here is projected to be a late 7th round pick or a UDFA, so there isn't a ton to really say about this group. But we're going to say whatever it is that we can say about him. Starting with Maxon Hook, Toledo, 24 years old. Pretty good size for a small school safety. He's got pretty good length. He's got pretty good weight. He isn't going to be losing anything at the next level on that front. Not very athletic. Change of direction times were great. 6.59 3-cone is incredible. But not very fast, not very explosive, not very quick. So definitely missing something there. ESPN was the one major big board that I saw that had him getting drafted or draftable. Had over 100 tackles last year, productive. Not a ton else going on. Relatively good in coverage, though, in terms of the raw numbers, though. So worth noting. I like his click and close. He's got a nice little click and close to break on the ball. His ability to just kind of drift back, keep the play in his vision, and then break at the right moment is good. Workable mix of size and athletic ability. So while he's not a very good athlete, I can at least say that he's got a good amount of size to compensate for that. I think he'll be able to be a decent deep safety or a box safety. I think he brings quality traits on both sides of it. And I think he's a pretty good tackler as well. He's not one of these guys leading with his shoulder. He's not one of these guys trying to lay a big hit all the time. He wraps up, and he's a fundamental tackler. And he's pretty rangy. He covers a decent amount of ground. Even though he's not very fast, he does cover a pretty decent amount of ground. And he's willing to chase plays from sideline to sideline. Now, I do think that because of his lack of speed, he does have to put himself in some bad situations. He does overly aggressively pursue plays and then end up out of position because he was over aggressive chasing the play. He bites too hard on fakes, misdirection, theatricality, deception, that kind of stuff can eat him up. Doesn't hit with a lot of force, even though he's a pretty good tackler. He's not a striker. He doesn't diagnose plays as quickly as you would like. His reading skills, his play diagnosis skills a little behind. And he doesn't really shed blockers very well. If you get a blocker on him, he's pretty much cooked. So, Maxon Hook, there are some nice things here. I like the fact that he's versatile. That's something that's always going to catch my attention. I think he's mostly a backup, but I think there might be a little bit more going on here. So I could see some of these issues he has getting fixed. I'd go 5th rounder on him. I actually like him more than most. I think he's a little more interesting than some people are giving him credit for. I'd go 5th rounder on the dude. All right. Next guy's Dante Schrader Jr. of Maryland. 22. This is a little bit of a smaller guy, but not critically so. I'm not worried about his size, right? You look at, this should be hands. But yeah, I'm not worried about him being too small. I am worried about his athleticism scores. He had embarrassing results with his vertical jump and broad jump. He really doesn't bring much there. You can see those are the only drills he did along with the bench press, where he also did pretty poorly. So, not really a great athlete. Walter Football loves this guy for some reason. They actually have him in their top 125. Aggregate has him on the very back end of the 7th round, though. Production over the last couple years has been okay, I guess. Not anything over the top, though. His flexibility makes him a little interesting to me. I think that he can do various things in coverage. I think he can do some man stuff. I think he can do some tight end stuff. I think he can play the joker role, or I think he can play center fielder a little bit. There's a decent amount of things that he's going to be able to do in coverage. So that's always nice. He's really good at diagnosing plays and reading what's going to happen. I think his play recognition skills are well ahead of where most players are. He's very tough at the catch point. He's great at going up and making plays on the ball at the critical point. So great at the catch point. He's a technically sound tackler. So he's not somebody that's going to be going for the big hit all the time. And he's willing to get involved in run support. So There's actually quite a bit I liked about Dante Trader Jr. I can see some of the appeal here. Now, on the other side of it, I don't know if he's actually going to be good at stopping the run. He's got some deficiencies in that area that are going to keep him from being a great run stopping safety. So while he's willing and while he is a good tackler, I think his athletic limitations are going to be a problem here. So he is somebody who can fall for misdirection sometimes. Like he'll trust his read, and then if his read is wrong, he'll just be way out of position. He's not very rangy. Like, I don't think he could be a deep safety. That's one thing I don't think he could ever be. I don't think he can be like a single high safety. You'd have to give him help, or you have to allow him to be closer to the line of scrimmage. And while I think his reading ability is really good, his actual click and close, his actual decisiveness when acting on that read isn't always the best. And sometimes it feels like his reactions are just a little too slow to really get involved in the play. So I like the versatility. That's something that I'm always going to prioritize, and it's something I see here. And I think he could be workable in a zone defense, but I don't think he'll ever be a starter. Maybe he can be like a part-time player, like a third safety or something. So I ended up, well, I didn't write it down. That's weird. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know. I start losing my mind at the end of these series. This series has gone on for over 100 videos. But anyway, I'd put this guy somewhere around like the very late 5th or early 6th. Probably somewhere in the 6th round if we are taking everything into account. McWilliams of UCF is our next guy here, 23 years old. Size is a concern. He's not very big, 191. Short arms, sub 30-inch arms, very small hands, sub 8.5-inch hands. Decent amount of speed, but I don't know if I'd call him a good athlete. And you got to be a really good athlete to make up for being this small. CBS is the big board that liked him quite a bit. They had him actually in like the 5th. Aggregate had him at the very back end of the 7th. Not a lot of production the last couple years. It is worth noting that on only 32 tackles last year, 7 of them were in the backfield. So we see some elements of like a playmaker here. Somebody that can really get involved on that front, and he had 9 pass breakups the previous year. So there's a little bit of a playmaker here maybe, and that's kind of nice. Good tackler. He's good coming up in run support. Lots of reps as a nickel corner. So he's experienced playing that nickel corner role, and that's something that might be very important for him at the next level. He's got some reactive athletic abilities that allow him to be okay in man coverage. I don't think he's a stellar overall athlete, but I think his reactive athleticism's okay. He's got a good click and close, and he's aggressive and physical in how he plays. So there's some nice things here. Now, his physicality is only going to get him so far when he's this small, but it's still there. So the issues would just be being so small and lacking length is going to make it harder for him to make plays on the ball. And his ball skills are not that great, I think, overall. I think his ability to actually make a play on the ball at the crucial point is very limited. And I don't know if he's actually going to be able to do safety stuff at the next level. He might be just a nickel corner. It's hard to tell. But there's a possibility that he ends up just being able to do that role, and that's it. So I don't think he's worthy of a draft pick. I don't think I can justify using a pick here. There's just not quite enough. So I put UDFA target here. That's about all I can do. I think that he's worthy of being maybe even a priority UDFA, but I don't think I'm drafting McWilliams here. All right. Final guy for this video. Final guy for this safety sub-series. And then we have one more position and then a couple more videos to clean it up, and then we're good. Okay, so Craig Woodson of California, the Golden Bears, is our final safety. Pretty good size, short arms. We don't like that, but we are talking about a guy with pretty good combine scores. 4.45 40, 1.53 10-yard split. Pretty big broad. It's not bad. Draftable on a couple of major big boards, PFF and CBS, but the aggregate has him just outside the draft. How should I put this? 258 players I think are going to get drafted this year. They put him at 264, so he's right around there. Good production, tackle-wise, over the last 2 years. 150 tackles, 7 for loss, 3 picks, 13 passes defensed. Pretty good, pretty reasonable. He's got an above average athletic profile, which I think makes him a viable option for man coverage. He's good at watching the eyes of the quarterback and reading the quarterback. He's a good tackler as well. I think he's a good form tackler. And I think he has pretty good instincts and pretty good play recognition to diagnose plays in front of him. So definitely some mental upside here. He struggles at the catch point because he doesn't have length. There are other players out there that have an extra couple of inches on their arm length that are able to make plays on the ball that he isn't. And that's a problem. He doesn't work through traffic very well. He's not very good at working through blockers. He's not very good at finding the ball through a lot of action. Doesn't look as fast on the football field as he does on the track. Like, he didn't look 4.45 fast to me on the football field sometimes. And he doesn't hit very hard. He's not really a striker. So, versatile backup, some special teams value. I like the special teams part of it. But there's also kind of a low ceiling here. I can't imagine this guy ever being a starter. So I went with 7th round pick. And even that might be pushing it a little bit. I don't think you need to spend a draft pick here. And looks like it's about it. Let's check this out down here. Yes, linebacker is next, people. The final position. But we're going to get to that tomorrow. See you guys later. Let me know what you guys think. Go Hawks. And we are right near the end of our little series, people. Just hang on, and we'll be there soon. Go Hawks.